Girich agus fáilte rot cúig cornucopia de scéalta agus in city le Alan agus Simona. Giadit, Simona?
Jadich Alan, conna sa tatu.
Tammy go ma. Conna sa tatu, Simona.
Tammy go math.
Gur míle machgad. Beannachtaí na Féile Pádraig ort. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. As you can tell, we are speaking a little bit of Irish for today's cornucopia of tales and tellers. Congratulations, Simona. You've spoken your first Irish. Well done.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you did brilliantly. Thank you very much. You did great. So today, as this week is St. Patrick's Day, or unless you're one of my students, it's St. Patrick's week, whether you want it or not. We are obviously going to tell some Irish tales and some, all things Ireland in this podcast. As well, why not? So today I am going to tell a creation story.
Ooh.
I wonder what island I'm going to be telling about. And Simona, what are you going to be bringing us?
I'm going to tell you a story about a king with very peculiar years. Listen and find out more.
Nice one. We look forward to it. So, sit back, enjoy, and have a little bit of Uska Breha for the Féile Pádraig. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Beannachtaí na Féile Pádraig ort.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Long ago, at the dawn of man, when Homo sapiens were just finding their way in this world, there was only really a few cities in Mesopotamia, Ur and Uruk. It took the humans generations upon generations to spread further and further, finding fertile soil and lands where they could settle and raise their young. They slowly ventured out, north, south, east, and west. But there was a murmuring, there was a rumour, there were stories. There was stories of a land that was infinitely fertile, where people could live safely and live comfortably. There was murmurings of an idea, something more to this land than where humans had ended up so far. They had crossed deserts, they had crossed mountains, and there was oceans which no one could cross yet. Over time, the humans got better and better at crossing waters, whether that be the Arabian Sea or what we now know as the Mediterranean Sea. Over time, they built better boats to go further and further. It is said that a tribe in West Africa built boats and everyone got in search for this rumoured new place where the land was so fertile they could live comfortably forever. But there was another rumour that came with this. It wasn't all fertile soil, comfortable weather. There was a rumour that there was also a protector to get to this land. Not one protector, but three. 3 waves that circled this land. And these 3 waves judged the people trying to cross. Were they good enough for this land? Or would they end up at the bottom of the sea? No stories had ever came back of people crossing these 3 waves. But this tribe in West Africa were determined and set out. They left the continent and headed north. They travelled for many weeks until they experienced what they were told. These 3 great waves protecting where this fertile land may be. These waves had names: the Ton Tua, the Ton Ruri, and the Ton Clina. And although the waves give them a lot of pressure and a lot of problems, swaying the boats from side to side, these waves judged these people pure enough to cross. Storm settled and they finally crossed into clear water and landed on a beach. They spotted instantly that this land was covered in nothing but forests. This could work. These forests could be tamed, they could be cut down, and we could farm here. The settlers brought their boats ashore and decided to explore. They headed north and headed through the forests where they could see life. They could see vegetation growing they'd never seen before. They could see animals they'd never seen before, until they got to a clearing where there were 3 women waiting for them. These women weren't ordinary women. These settlers obviously knew there was something very different about these people. And it became very clear very easily as the women walked towards them. They weren't people. They were goddesses. The goddess on the left walked forward. My name is Bandla. I am the creator of this land. I give fertile soil, healthy forests, and a richness of animals that roam here. If you settle here, all I ask is you take care of them. The settlers said, we will. The goddess on the right-hand side stepped forward. My name is Fodla. I'm the goddess of literary skills unmatched in any other land. I grant you this skill, so long as you teach the future generations of us. The settlers said, we will. And the last goddess, the one standing in the middle, stepped forward. I will offer you protection throughout the ages and until the end of time. All I ask is you name this land after me. The settlers agreed and said, we will. Her name was Eru. Era. Ireland.
One day there was a knock at the door, and when the old woman went to open the door, she found the king's messenger in front of her. Woman, I've got a letter from the king. The king wants your son to come to the palace because he's got a special job for him to do. And then he handed her the letter and went away. The old woman stood, staring at the letter in her hands and looking at the messenger going away in the distance. She was worried. Her son was a barber, and every year the king would summon a barber to his palace, and then they would all disappear mysteriously. She was worried. She couldn't let her son disappear. She had to do something. Her son was everything she had left in this world. So she went to the king's palace and asked to see the king. And the king was very kind and gentle. And then he grew sorry hearing her story. And he said, we can do something about this. Your son must promise that whatever he's going to see when he comes here to the palace, he won't tell anybody about it. He won't tell any living soul about it. And the old woman said, yes, I'll make him promise. I'll do it. And she went straight home. She talked to her son. And her son promised. And the following day, her son went to the palace and he cut the king's ear. And he saw something very strange, very peculiar about the ears of the king. But he had sworn he couldn't tell a living soul about it. It was a secret he had to bring to his grave. And then he went home, and in the following days he grew tired, and he wouldn't eat, he wouldn't speak to his mother, and he wouldn't sleep. Well, her mother summoned a druid, but the druid himself said that he couldn't do anything about it. But he recommended something. He said to the old woman, your son is keeping a secret. A secret, he told me, that he can't tell to any living soul. But I've got a solution. Do you know that willow tree down near the river? He must go there on a windy day and whisper his secret to the leaves, and he will feel better. And so the barber went to the willow tree on a windy day, and he whispered his secret to the leaves. The king has donkey's ears. And soon he felt better. He felt relieved. Oh, he was free of his secret. He felt so nice. He felt so well. He felt great. He could start living again. And then the barber went home and he forgot all about his secret. Sometimes later, the king's harper broke his harp, and he decided to make a new one. So he went to look for the best wood to make his harp out of, and he found a beautiful willow tree down near the river. He chopped it, he worked the wood, and soon a harp was ready. And when the harp was ready, he was summoned to the palace to play his harp once again to the king. And as soon as he started playing the harp to the king, a voice came out of the harp. A soft voice, a singing voice, a voice that sang this song. The king has donkey's ears. The king has donkey's ears. And the king looked around at the people in the room. His secret had been revealed. Everybody would be laughing at him. He must kill everybody. And the music continued. The king has donkey's ears. The king has donkey's ears. He would kill everybody. He would kill the barber who had spilled his secret. But then he looked around and he saw that nobody was laughing at him. They were fine with his secret. And from that day on, the king didn't hide his donkey's ears anymore, and everybody appreciated him for who he was, a kind and gentle king.